What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my dungeon. This is where I store most of my favorite stuff that comes here to, sit until I finally want to work on it, or like these two here. I got these subwoofers for free, 15-inch HX2s, classics, super popular and pretty rare. The 15s are. The 12s you can find all day. The 15s not very often. I've been waiting on parts for these for a long time. It took me especially long just to find the coils, and they just came in yesterday. Like this right here, this is a power HX2 just sitting here. I had to rewire the leads. I never soldered them up, so I haven't tried it. It's ugly, but the coil's good. It's gonna slam. Just gotta, solder up those leads. That thing's gonna work. I ordered, gosh, this is a heavy one. I've got this one here, it's 10. I got this for free in a deal. When I bought these powers, I got this for free. It needs a surround, so I ordered surrounds and they sent me 8-inch surrounds. So, kind of screwed. I'm trying to send them back. Here's my coils. I got these from the Speaker Exchange, $68 a piece. So you're paying to play, guys. But just kind of showing you everything I got. I've got this Crossfire 12 we're gonna rebuild. That thing's a monster. I mean, it's just as big as the power. And then we've got our 4K super monster back here. That thing, if I can get you good lighting, that thing's a monster. But now for this video, everybody's been waiting since I did my old school sound stream video. If you remember that video, we found $3,500 worth of car audio for 300 bucks. This is what I have left. I wanted to sell it. I was gonna sell it, but then I kept it because you do not find these every day. It's absolutely mint. There's not one scratch on it. It works perfect. So that video did really well, and everybody's been waiting for me to, get these subs going. We've got all of our parts here. Let's take these up to where we're going to be fixing them out of this dungeon where we can see what we're doing, and I'll show you what I got and show you what we're doing. Gosh, it's been so long since I've been able to work on some subs or build a sub or do anything. This world's going crazy. Everything's in my way. I had to move all this stuff out. This is going to be my area to work. I usually like to do my work down in my dungeon, but it's just not the ideal place to film. So we're going to get these out. Basically, I've got both my 15s here, and since I'm going to be soldering on those, I got the power HX2 out here. We're going to solder that, and $68 a piece. Highway robbery, but you know what? You got to pay to play. They sent me both coils. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me get one out of here and I'll show you guys what I got. Voila, that's my coil. Handle these like fragile glass. Go down in there just right. Not only did they send me these coils, but they sent me some awesome shims that I didn't expect to get. Oh, also, they sent me my leads. These are stock size leads for these subs. I did not know that, so I had bought my own leads. So I got these ones here. These are rated for 3,500 watts. I figured, geez, can't go wrong with that. These are, I don't know, 600-700 watt subs, RMS piece, I don't know. But so I got leads. That's awesome. I don't have to use those. Best part is though, check these shims out. They are like nylon shims, all different thicknesses. So I can stack these together and shim anything actually. These shims I will be able to use forever, honestly. So I got that box. That box cost me over 140 bucks. And then I got this box here. I ordered the cone and the spiders from Springfield Speaker Repair. So I got my spiders, basically Spider goes on that landing there, fits perfect, gonna be awesome. And then I got my cone, walla walla bing bang. Yep. And then what we will do is peel that dust cap off there, and voila, rebuilt sub. The only difference I see is this is foam, this is more of a rubber material. It's a strong rubber material, but the best part is I've got the trim rings that all say Rockford Fosgate. I've got really clean intact dust caps. I got the magnet boots. So these things should actually be just about like brand new. I'm going to run the same terminals. So we got to get in here. While there's nothing in here, I'm going to take my torch or my propane torch and hit these. That's the fastest way to melt that solder out of there. Bring these back to, you know, their original form with the hole. Let's see if I can bring these things back from the dead. Let's see if we can melt this out of here. Voila, holes. That's all we needed. So now I've tried a razor knife on this here. This does not come up with a razor knife. I'm gonna get my wire wheel and we're just gonna cook it. We're gonna do both these edges actually. This rubber that Rockford Fosgate glued on here is freaking on here. Cut up one of my wife's cutting boards. I used it for shims for some sundown subs, and ever since then it's been a great tool to work on subs. But we'll get this gap nice and clean. You can see I took those shims that came in the envelope. I cut each one of them into 3 sections because to get it, you know, evenly spaced, you need 3 areas, and one big shim wouldn't work. Each color is a different thickness, so I'll be able to stick, you know, 1, 2, 3, and I will be able to stack the different thicknesses until, you know, we've got that coil, tighten that gap, glue that spider, and then we know we have a good gap. We know we're not gonna rub. But these are made out of nylon. I mean, these are really nice. Them shims right there will last forever. And it looks like brown and white is our combination. So coil's nice and tight in there, moves up and down freely, but tight. Perfect. So now I need to measure the center of that coil, figure out the thickness of this top plate here, and do some measurements, and I'll tell you what I come up with. Still spinning, and you would think that if you go out here in the wind and the sun that it would dry faster. It doesn't. It takes longer. We just want to try to make sure we've got even amount all the way around, and this is the best way to do it, is just keep it spinning, and you know, it's all nice and glued. The epoxy's all dried up, so I took a drill bit about the size of the leads and drilled holes so they're nice and tight inside there. I've got to solder them to these flat leads. I'm going to go watch a couple videos real quick and make sure I know what I'm doing before I try to do this, because I don't want to mess it up. I want to see what I'm going to get into when I try to solder on these flat pieces. got those all soldered up. They all seem in there real nice and tight. Once I glue them down, they'll never move again. Good enough. We'll pull this back out, and then I've got to glue this spider in here. So I need to go to the store and get some more epoxy because I'm out of it. So I want to fill this whole thing up with epoxy right here, at least over these. I want to glue where these go through the cone. And once we do that, we glue this spider down, then I'll solder these. So let me go to the store. We'll be right back. All right, while we were waiting, before I put all my solder stuff away, I soldered the leads on the ugly power. So, and I glued the dust cap. That thing's ready to go. It's ugly as sin, but it's a freaking slammer. So I love this sub. Could use a complete rebuild to look better, but working wise, this thing freaking gets down. Now that we've got our leads soldered, I need to throw some epoxy around here, and then we're ready to epoxy the spider on. Then we'll glue this around, then we'll solder the leads. This one will be done. I still got to get this dust cap off this old cone, so that's going to take some work. I want to do it nicely, clean it up. We don't want to damage any of the edges or anything, so that's going to take a little bit of work, but you know, new dust cap in there, it's going to look good. All right, we've got the surround glued. This will take all night probably. Well, a couple hours, but I don't trust messing with it or playing with it until I know it's 100% dry, so I'm not going to touch it until tomorrow. We're running out of daylight, so I guess we got some stuff today. It takes a while to get this done, in between waiting for things to dry, you know, not having the right things and having to go to the store, but you know, for the most part, it's an easy job. I've already got my leads strung through the holes, so once, you know, this is all dried up, I may run a little bit more epoxy in here. These leads are nice and buried, but I may want to get it, you know, I've got it glued here, maybe another layer just to thicken it up where it goes through. I ended up getting the dust cap off of the other one. I cleaned it up. It's pretty much in brand new condition. They never even sanded the edges like they tell you to from the factory in the 90s. So you're supposed to scuff that edge up supposedly before you glue it on there. But walla walla bing bang, she's gonna look brand spanking new. If I can get this cap on without getting a bunch of glue all over the place, it's gonna look mint. Got the edge done, that looks good, and then plus I've got the Rockford ring gasket that goes around it, so that's gonna look great. But yeah, we'll pick this back up tomorrow and solder that up and see where we get. Glue is dry, so that's gonna go in there like that. Look at that thing, brand new. Check out the crazy transformation. This one's done. Got everything ready to rock. It's all new. It's nice and smooth, nice and tight. Look at the difference in these things. This one's just old and saggy. I mean, it just looks clapped out. I like this surround, how it sticks up a little bit more. So now, got to keep going. I got to tear into this one, and I'm gonna rebuild that real quick. I forgot, I'm so used to having an amp hooked up in one of my cars that I can just run and go test these. But I don't have one right now, and I gotta get some amp wires. I'm looking for some welder cable to run a positive and a ground, and then I have wires laying around I can make, you know, the remote wire. I have RCAs, stuff like that. So I got to get that. That's going to have to be for a future video. I didn't expect this video to get so long. I wanted to kind of film, you know, everything as I go through it and show you guys, you know, what it takes to build a sub. It's not crazy hard, but it's just, you know, it's kind of time consuming. You got to wait for the glue to dry. You have to, you know, space that coil just right, and measure your coil for the gap or the top plate, stuff like that. But overall, it's super easy. Fixing subwoofers is not lucrative though, in my opinion. You know, the coil for each one was 65, the cone was 45, the spider was $8. You know, the leads came with the coils, but you know, you do the math, that's what it costs to rebuild this one. I obviously bought the parts for both, so that was two $65. They were actually $68 coils. Bought both those, you know, two 40, I think they were $45 cones, and then, you know, $8 for the spiders a piece. And you know, obviously all the glue, those packs, you know, this is, I think, $5, $4.99 per one. You use 3 or 4 of these. I just went to the store again and they only had 2. This stuff right here is $4 a bottle, $4.99. I actually like the smaller bottles better. This stuff's thicker. This comes out a lot thinner. Easier to work with, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there they are. We can test our ohm load. I mean, we already know it's not scratchy, so if our ohms test fine, then we know it's gonna work. So that coil reads, you know, coil reads 1.7. You can push on it, it responds 1.9, 1.8, 1.7. So that coil is good. This coil 1.7 as well. And if I move the table or move it around the table, it'll read, you know, if I move it over here, that's how sensitive they are. You know, when you measure your resistance, you want your subs sitting on the magnet facing up. Actually, we could hook them up in that G8 and test them. So yeah, I just measured it 5 minutes ago. One read 2 and the other one read 1.7. So we know our ohms loads are good. Well, you know what? I can't end this video without doing them both, because that would be weird. What, am I going to make another video on that? Hang tight, let's rebuild this one. And there you have it. They are done. They look freaking amazing. Brand new. I'm glad I had, you know, the gaskets, the rubber boot. We had everything we needed. So, I mean, here they are. I don't have an amp hooked up in any of our cars right now to test them, but I did put my meter on them. They're all reading, you know, each voice coil reads 2 ohms or really close to it. So, I mean, there it is. I hope you liked the video. I love reviving old school subs. These things were legendary when I was, you know, young. I was, you know, 17, 18, 19, wishing I had this stuff. I would see guys with this stuff and just drool, knowing I couldn't afford it. You know, now, today, I'm taking this stuff, I'm rebuilding it. I can actually build it. I can make it, you know. I want to get into more videos where I actually take baskets from some subs and put them on motors of other subs. You know, create some Franken subs like we did with that JL Audio. But that, you know, more to come. We're doing that. Either way, if you like what you saw, remember, like, share, subscribe. Peace.